Chosen one, in a world where people rush to judge, where hearts are clouded by envy, and where the eyes of many cannot see beyond the material, you walk with a strength that is invisible to them, a power that does not roar but whispers through your patience, your composure, and the unshakable faith that Allah has placed within you. They assumed your silence was weakness, your kindness was naivety, and your humility was ignorance. Yet every time they tried to test you, every boundary they attempted to cross, every insult or betrayal they threw your way, they were met not with anger, but with a spiritual force they could not comprehend, a dignity and calm that silently declared your rank. A rank forged by the Creator himself, a rank that cannot be measured by worldly eyes, a rank that is revealed only when the world pushes, provokes, and challenges. And through it all, Allah allowed their tests to show you and them the truth, that you are not ordinary, you are chosen, and your trials are the unveiling of what has always been written in your soul by the one who knows you better than anyone else, the one who sees every moment of your patience, every silent victory, and every hidden strength that the world could never understand. Chosen one, understand this truth with every fiber of your being. Patience is not a passive act, nor is it a weakness disguised as waiting. It is the fortress that Allah himself has built around your soul, the unshakable stronghold that protects your heart, mind, and destiny from the storms of this world, from the ignorance of those who cannot perceive your rank, and from the trials that were never meant to break you, but to reveal you. While the world rushes, while the impatient react in anger, frustration, or despair, you remain still. Not because you are unaware, not because you lack emotion, but because your spirit resonates on a higher frequency that only those aligned with Allah can understand. And every test, every betrayal, every insult thrown your way was never a threat to your essence. It was a mirror, reflecting your hidden strength, your unshakable dignity, and the divine patience that no one can replicate or diminish. You endured in silence, smiled through hardship, and walked with composure in situations where most would have crumbled. And in this endurance, your hidden fortress became visible not to the eyes of the world, but to the one who truly matters, the one who sees the battles fought in the heart, the victories achieved in private, and the perseverance that becomes a testament to your spiritual elevation. Chosen one, every moment you waited, every trial you overcame with calm resolve, every injustice you did not retaliate to, became a brick in the fortress of patience that shields you today. A fortress that not only protects you from harm, but elevates you above those who tried to measure you with worldly standards, reminding them and yourself that true power is quiet, unassuming, and unstoppable when it is rooted in Allah's guidance and perfected by His will. Chosen one, realize this profound truth. Your spirit is unlike the spirits of those around you because it operates on a plane that they cannot perceive, a dimension of awareness, wisdom, and divine connection that only Allah can truly measure. And this is why so many misjudge you, underestimate your decisions, and fail to see the power that flows quietly through your soul. While the world acts on impulse, envy, and superficial understanding, your actions are guided by an unseen force, your intentions anchored in sincerity, and your heart aligned with the one who knows your past, present, and future before you even take a breath. They cannot see the divine guidance that flows through your thoughts, the invisible energy that influences every choice you make, or the subtle protection that shields you from harm, and when they attempted to test, provoke, or deceive you, they collided not with a mere human reaction, but with a spirit elevated by Allah, calm in the face of chaos, dignified in the presence of disrespect, and unwavering in the knowledge that the worldly cannot dictate what has already been decreed for you. Chosen one, this higher plane allows you to witness situations, people, and outcomes with clarity that most can never imagine, to move through life without unnecessary fear or anger, and to act with precision, patience, and divine timing. And while they misinterpret your silence as weakness or your kindness as ignorance, the truth is that your spirit perceives what they cannot. It understands the hearts of others. It discerns the hidden motives. It senses the blessings that are yet to arrive, and it trusts in Allah's plan without hesitation or doubt, proving again and again that those who try to measure your rank by their worldly standards will always fall short, because your elevation is spiritual, your strength invisible, and your destiny written by the one who sees the unseen, honors patience, and lifts his chosen above the illusions of this temporary world. Chosen one, understand this with every fiber of your being. Your true measure is never revealed in comfort, ease, or approval. It is revealed in the fire of trials, in the storms that test the very essence of your patience, faith, and alignment with Allah. For the world can never grasp the depth of your soul until it is pushed, provoked, and challenged. And this is why the people around you, the ones who sought to undermine, judge, or betray you, were blind to your spiritual rank. They could not see the fortress of patience you had built, the quiet authority of your spirit, or the divine guidance that flows like a river within you. When they attempted to test you, to cross boundaries that they thought were weaknesses, they were met not with chaos, fear, or retaliation, but with a calm so profound that it unsettled them, a composure so unshakable that it forced them to confront the truth they had ignored, that the power they sought to provoke is not of this world, and the dignity they sought to shake is anchored in a connection with Allah that they cannot comprehend. Every trial, every moment of injustice, every betrayal and insult was not meant to break you, but to illuminate your essence, to separate the worldly from the spiritually awakened, and to show both you and them the unshakable strength that comes from walking in alignment with the Creator. For it is through these challenges that Allah unveils the hidden depths of your heart, revealing the courage, faith, and endurance that no one could see in ordinary circumstances. And it is here, in the crucible of testing, that your true measure becomes evident, not to those who judge superficially, but to Allah, who sees every moment of resilience, every silent victory, every act of patience that goes unnoticed by the eyes of the world. Chosen one, realize that every trial that sought to diminish you only served to reveal the magnitude of your spiritual elevation, and every person who misjudged, envied, or tried to provoke you has inadvertently testified to the truth of your rank, for their disbelief, misunderstanding, and underestimation were necessary for the unveiling of your hidden strength. And through it all, Allah was shaping, refining, and preparing you for the greater purposes that your soul is destined to fulfill, ensuring that when the storms pass, when the tests conclude, and when the world finally witnesses your rise, it is undeniable that your spiritual measure has always been far beyond what they imagined, grounded not in human perception, but in divine orchestration, patience perfected in the unseen, and resilience forged in the trials that only Allah could ordain. Chosen one, understand this with every fiber of your being. Your dignity is not a fragile possession that the world can bestow or strip away. It is a divine endowment placed within you by Allah, an eternal and unshakable essence that no insult, betrayal, envy, mockery, or attempt to diminish your spirit can touch. And this is precisely why those who tried to test you, who sought to provoke you, or who attempted to see you falter, were confronted not with weakness, fear, or reaction, but with a calm, a grace, and a composure so profound that it left them bewildered, for they could not fathom a strength that does not scream, a power that does not dominate through force, and a patience that does not seek approval from the world. Every provocation, every slight, every effort to undermine or question you became not a source of damage, but a stage upon which Allah allowed your spiritual elevation to manifest, revealing to both you and them the unyielding armor that comes from a heart anchored in divine guidance and a soul aligned with the Creator. And while they rushed, reacted, and acted out of ego, envy, or ignorance, you moved with precision, dignity, and quiet authority, knowing that the validation of your rank comes not from human recognition but from Allah, who sees every hidden struggle, every silent victory, and every patient endurance in the unseen. Chosen one, remember that dignity grounded in divine faith is an invisible fortress, a sanctuary that shields your soul from harm and protects your essence even when the world seeks to shake it. And the trials you faced were never random, but deliberate, a test of your alignment with Allah's wisdom, a purification of your heart, and a confirmation of the elevation that sets you apart from the ordinary. For when you responded with restraint instead of rage, forgiveness instead of revenge, and calm instead of chaos, you revealed a truth so powerful that those who misjudged you, who doubted you, or who tried to provoke you were forced to confront not just your composure, but the reality that their worldly attempts could never reach what Allah Himself has blessed. It is in this way, chosen one, that your dignity becomes a mirror, reflecting both your divine rank and the limitations of those who cannot perceive the spiritual plane on which you walk, and every attempt to test you, whether through betrayal, slander, envy, or manipulation, only became a demonstration of the unshakable, untouchable, and gloriously anchored essence that Allah has placed within you, a dignity so profound that it cannot be replicated, imitated, or diminished, a patience so elevated that it commands respect even without words, and a spiritual strength so radiant that it silently declares to the world and to yourself that you are chosen, protected, honored, and untouchable, a living testament that true dignity is a reflection of faith perfected in trials, patience cultivated in silence, and a heart eternally aligned with the one who knows the unseen, preserves the righteous, and elevates his chosen above every worldly force, every human attempt to diminish them, and every storm that the world tries to cast upon their path. Chosen one, understand this truth with every breath of your existence. Your spiritual rank is not determined by the force of your voice, the dominance of your actions, or the intimidation of your presence, for true elevation is quiet, profound, and unseen by those who rely only on worldly measures. And this is precisely why so many have attempted to test you, to provoke you, to challenge your essence, believing that your patience, humility, and calm composure were weaknesses to exploit, unaware that what they were facing is a soul elevated directly by Allah, a heart aligned with divine wisdom, and a spirit forged in the unseen fires of trials, struggles, and private victories that the eyes of the world cannot measure. While they acted with arrogance, pride, and ignorance, expecting submission or fear, you responded not with retaliation, but with dignity, restraint, and measured strength, demonstrating that spiritual rank is recognized not by the trembling of others, but by the serenity, confidence, and authority that emanate from one who walks in alignment with Allah. And in this way, every attempt to intimidate, every boundary they tried to cross, and every effort to test your patience became a mirror, reflecting not your vulnerability, but their inability to comprehend the depth of a soul that operates on a higher plane. Chosen one, realize that those who seek to challenge you are in fact proving your elevation, for the trials they create are the stages upon which Allah displays the power, wisdom, and composure that comes from being chosen, and the higher your spiritual rank, the less visible it becomes to the unseeing eyes of the world, because divine elevation is subtle yet unstoppable, quiet yet authoritative, and gentle yet commanding. And those who judge by worldly standards will always underestimate, misinterpret, or fail to perceive the magnitude of your essence. Your rank commands respect not through fear, intimidation, or dominance, but through the invisible energy that radiates from patience perfected in trials, from composure refined in the face of betrayal, and from a heart grounded in faith that understands the one who controls all outcomes, protects all destinies, and elevates those who remain steadfast when others falter. Chosen one, every test, every provocation, and every attempt to diminish you has been a divine opportunity for your spiritual rank to manifest, revealing to those who are awake the depth of your wisdom, the immovability of your patience, and the brilliance of a dignity that does not bend to the opinions, insults, or ignorance of others. And while they sought to awaken fear or doubt within you, they were instead confronted with a calm so profound, a confidence so unshakable, and a presence so elevated that it silently declared your superiority, not in arrogance, but in alignment with Allah's perfect design, proving that true spiritual rank is never loud, never boastful, and never forced. It is a quiet authority that makes the unprepared pause, the ignorant falter, and the envious realize that they cannot touch, imitate, or comprehend what has been divinely placed within you, a sacred elevation that commands respect in every interaction, in every boundary you set, and in every moment you walk with dignity, in a world that cannot perceive the unseen. Chosen one, let this lesson settle deep within your heart. Your spiritual rank is a reflection of your connection to Allah, a testament to your patience through trials, your strength in silence, and your wisdom in restraint. And as the world tests, challenges, and underestimates you, remember that every reaction they provoke, every misunderstanding they create, and every attempt to undermine you is a stage upon which your divine authority becomes undeniable, proving that respect is earned not through fear or coercion, but through the unshakable, radiant, and elevated presence of a soul that Allah Himself has chosen, protected, and perfected. A soul whose light cannot be dimmed, whose dignity cannot be shaken, and whose spiritual rank commands reverence far beyond what the eyes of men can measure, understand, or imitate, because it flows from the one who sees the unseen, honors the patient, and elevates the chosen in ways the world could never conceive, ways that will leave those who doubted, underestimated, or tested you humbled, silent, and in awe of the power that resides in a soul fully aligned with Allah. Chosen one, in the vast tapestry of life where hearts collide, intentions clash, and souls intertwine, there is a profound wisdom in the trials and interactions you experience, for Allah, in His infinite knowledge and divine precision, orchestrates the circumstances around you not merely to test your patience or challenge your spirit, but to reveal who truly recognizes the depth of your soul, who perceives the light that radiates from your heart, and who can stand in the presence of your spiritual elevation without fear, envy, or misunderstanding. Many will attempt to walk beside you, many will claim to understand, and many will seek to share in your journey, yet only a few are destined to see beyond the surface, to perceive the invisible currents that guide your decisions, the divine whispers that shape your choices, and the sacred alignment between your heart and the one who knows you better than anyone else. For it is only Allah who truly discerns the souls of those around you and reveals to you who is aligned with your destiny and who is merely passing through to serve their own worldly purposes. Chosen one, recognize that every betrayal, every disappointment, every encounter that leaves you questioning the intentions of others is in fact a divine illumination, a filter set in place by Allah to separate the worldly from the spiritually awakened, the shallow from the profound, the temporary from the eternal. And as the tests unfold, you begin to see with clarity which hearts resonate with your own, which intentions are pure, and which connections are blessed with sincerity. For those who truly understand you do not seek to exploit, manipulate, or diminish your spirit, but rather they honor the sanctity of your soul, respect the boundaries Allah has placed around you, and respond to your light with recognition rather than envy. And while many may appear supportive, loyal, or devoted, the reality of their hearts is revealed only when challenges arise, only when you are tested, only when the veil of convenience, comfort, and worldly judgment is lifted to expose the truth. For Allah does not need human acknowledgement to elevate the chosen, but He does use human interactions as a mirror, reflecting back to you the essence of those around you, showing who walks with integrity, who operates with sincerity, and who is capable of perceiving the divine spark within your being. Chosen one, in this divine orchestration, you learn that the opinions of the ignorant, the judgments of the envious, and the manipulations of the worldly cannot define you, cannot measure your rank, and cannot alter the destiny Allah has decreed for you. For those who are truly aligned with your path will recognize your spiritual elevation even when the world does not, will honor your patience even when others fail to comprehend it, and will support your journey even when no one else believes in the magnitude of what you are building, achieving, or manifesting. And every time a test reveals the truth of another's heart, Allah is simultaneously confirming your rank, protecting your essence, and ensuring that your spiritual journey is never tainted by false alliances, shallow loyalty, or misguided intentions. Chosen one, understand that this revelation is not a mere worldly lesson, but a profound spiritual awakening, for it teaches you to trust not in appearances, not in words, and not in fleeting affections, but in the clarity that comes from divine guidance, the insight that Allah grants to His chosen, and the certainty that when the veil lifts, the right hearts, the right souls, and the right companions will be unmistakably revealed, and you will witness the precision of Allah's plan as He brings into your life only those who can walk beside you with sincerity, those who can honor your journey without envy, those who can perceive your unseen battles and your silent victories, and those whose presence in your path serves the divine purpose of your elevation rather than mere worldly convenience. Every encounter that once confused you, every person who once seemed loyal but faltered, every relationship that ended in pain or misunderstanding, was a necessary step in Allah's meticulous design to filter the world for you, separating the hearts that resonate with your spirit from the hearts that would disrupt your path. And as this revelation unfolds, you begin to understand that being chosen is not merely about elevation in the eyes of the world, but about clarity in the eyes of the soul, discernment in relationships, and divine alignment in every connection. Chosen one, the people who truly understand you will not need to be convinced of your value, will not require explanations of your choices, and will not judge your silence or patience, for they perceive the unseen, they honor the divine, and they recognize that your journey is blessed, protected, and guided by the one who orchestrates all affairs with infinite wisdom. And through this divine unveiling, you learn to move with confidence, to engage with discernment, and to preserve your heart for those whose souls are attuned to the truth of who you are, realizing that every person revealed, every intention exposed, and every heart that aligns or misaligns with your own is part of Allah's perfect design, teaching you that spiritual clarity is far more valuable than worldly approval, that recognition from the spiritually aware is more precious than accolades from the unseeing, and that the ones who truly understand you will honor, protect, and uplift you simply because they perceive the divine essence within. And when you embrace this revelation fully, you step into a new level of spiritual maturity, walking with certainty, discernment, and unwavering faith, knowing that every person in your life is placed there for a reason, some to teach, some to test, and some to walk alongside you in recognition of the rank, patience, and light that Allah has bestowed upon His chosen. And this chosen one is the ultimate awakening, that Allah reveals, who truly understands you, not to satisfy your curiosity, not to give you worldly comfort, but to prepare your heart, guide your steps, and align your journey with souls worthy of witnessing, honoring, and walking with the divine purpose embedded in your life. Chosen one, understand this with every beat of your heart and every breath of your soul. The trials you face, the hardships that seem unbearable, the betrayals, disappointments, and challenges that the world casts upon your path are never random, never meaningless, and never designed to diminish you. Rather, they are divinely orchestrated by Allah, the Most Wise, to awaken not only your own spiritual potential, but also to reveal the hidden truths to those around you. For the tests you endure serve as mirrors that reflect the hearts, intentions, and understanding of everyone who crosses your path. And it is in these very moments of trial that the world, intentionally or not, witnesses the depth, power, and divine elevation of your soul. Yet few are able to recognize it because the veil of human ignorance, arrogance, and limited perception blinds them to what is truly unfolding. They may have sought to challenge you, provoke you, or push you beyond what they imagined was your limit, thinking that they could expose weakness, mistake patience for passivity, or humility for naivety. But what they did not realize is that Allah, in His infinite wisdom, has prepared you to not only endure these tests with composure, dignity, and unwavering faith, but also to use them as a vehicle through which others are awakened to the realities they refuse to see, the consequences of their intentions, and the divine orchestration behind your journey. for every insult, betrayal, or trial they inflicted, becomes a divine revelation, a reflection of their own limitations, a lesson in humility, and an inadvertent acknowledgement of the rank, patience, and power Allah has bestowed upon you. Chosen one, the awakening of others is not your responsibility, yet your endurance, your composure, and your alignment with Allah's guidance naturally illuminate truths for those around you, revealing the disparity between the spiritually aware and the spiritually blind, the humble and the arrogant, the sincere and the self-serving. And in this process, Allah ensures that the trials you endure serve multiple divine purposes. They refine your heart, purify your soul, elevate your rank, and simultaneously awaken those who were oblivious to your spiritual presence, those who could not have perceived your rank until confronted by the reality of your strength, patience, and dignity under pressure. Realize that your struggles are not simply about surviving or proving yourself in worldly terms. They are sacred milestones in Allah's plan, each challenge meticulously designed to display the divine elevation. He has granted you to separate the sincere from the deceitful, the aware from the ignorant, and the worthy from the unworthy. For it is only when you are tested that your light becomes undeniable, your patience becomes instructive, and your spiritual rank becomes apparent to all who are meant to witness it. And while the world may have tried to provoke fear, anger, or weakness within you, the reality is that your trials only magnify the awareness, understanding, and humility of others, forcing them to confront the unseen, the divinely ordained, and the truths that they had ignored or refused to acknowledge. And through this divine mechanism, your journey becomes both a personal elevation and a universal revelation, as those who attempted to challenge, underestimate, or misjudge, you are awakened to the consequences of their actions, the depth of your spiritual alignment, and the undeniable presence of Allah's guidance in your life. Chosen one, understand that every hardship, every obstacle, every moment that tested your faith and composure was also a lesson, a divine awakening for those who could not otherwise see, feel, or comprehend the magnitude of what Allah has placed within you. For in your endurance, they witness what patience perfected in trials looks like, what dignity anchored in divine guidance appears like, and what spiritual rank elevated by Allah manifests as. And through this process, their ignorance is stripped away, their arrogance humbled, and their perception of reality realigned to acknowledge that they are standing before a soul chosen, protected, and guided directly by Allah, a soul whose trials are not punishments but revelations, whose challenges are not curses but divine lessons, and whose journey, though often misunderstood, becomes a living testament to the power, wisdom, and mercy of Allah, revealing to the world and to themselves the truth that the strength, composure, and elevation you embody is not of your own making, but is a reflection of the one who knows you intimately, who sees every silent victory, every hidden struggle, every moment of resilience that no human eye can perceive, and who, through every test you endure, allows others to witness a glimpse of what it truly means to be chosen, to be elevated, and to be a servant perfected in trials and aligned wholly with the divine plan. For your trials are never wasted, never unnoticed, and never meaningless. They are the awakening of those who were blind, the revelation of truths to those who were ignorant, and the illumination of your divinely ordained rank to a world that could not see until it was compelled to. And in this awakening, chosen one, You recognize that your endurance is not only your victory, but the revelation of Allah's wisdom, power, and justice, as the world bears witness to the undeniable truth that when Allah elevates a soul, not challenge, nor betrayal, nor attempt to diminish, and no human limitation can conceal what is already divinely ordained, and the trials themselves become a conduit through which the unseen reality of your spiritual rank, patience, and alignment with Allah is made evident, proving that your journey, your struggles, and your victories are not for yourself alone, but serve as a divine awakening for the hearts, minds, and souls of those who cross your path, intentionally or unknowingly, ensuring that Allah's will is fulfilled, His chosen are honored, and the truth of His wisdom is revealed through the endurance, dignity, and unwavering faith of the ones He has elevated above the ordinary. Chosen one, as we come to the end of these 7 powerful lessons, let this truth settle deep within your heart. Every trial you faced, every test, every betrayal, and every moment of doubt was never wasted, for Allah's wisdom is perfect, His timing flawless, and His plan for you beyond comprehension. The patience you embodied, the dignity you preserved, the spiritual rank you walked in, and the endurance you demonstrated have not only elevated you above the ordinary, but have also awakened those around you, revealing truths they could not see until they encountered the reality of your strength, composure, and alignment with the divine. Know that being chosen is not about recognition by the world, but about obedience to Allah, alignment with your purpose, and the manifestation of a soul perfected through trials and elevated by divine design. And while the world may have misjudged you, envied you, or sought to provoke fear, they have instead been witnesses to a force they cannot measure, a light they cannot imitate, and a spiritual presence that commands respect without intimidation. Chosen one, carry these lessons in your heart, always. Your patience is a fortress. Your spirit operates on a higher plane. Your trials reveal your true measure. Your dignity cannot be shaken. Your rank commands respect. Allah reveals those who truly understand you, and your endurance awakens the world. For each of these truths is a testament to the divine elevation Allah has placed within you, a reminder that no one can diminish what He has ordained, and a call to walk boldly, fearlessly, and faithfully into the next chapter of your life. Remember, you are protected, chosen, and guided by the Most High, and everything you have endured was never in vain. It was preparation, purification, and revelation, shaping you into the unstoppable, spiritually awakened, and divinely elevated soul you were always meant to be. And as you move forward, let your presence, your patience, and your light continue to be a quiet revolution, a reflection of Allah's wisdom, and an inspiration for all who are ready to see the truth. Honor the chosen, and recognize that the power of the chosen one is unstoppable, undeniable, and divinely ordained.